Hello, and welcome to episode number 292, I think it is, of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Monday, week 4 of September 2022, and it is Raw in the Metaverse, you know. By Raw in the Metaverse, I mean we've got a crypto-themed main event and a couple of crypto-themed segments throughout the show, but other than that, it's a regular episode of Raw. The main event is Bored Ape on a Pole. Crypto Kobain defends against... No, that is kind of right. I was going to say, I said defends like it's a belt, but I guess he does defend it because he is the current holder. So he puts it above the ring against Ludwig Kaiser. And also they're going to see the returns of Logan Paul and KSI to WWE for the first time since SummerSlam. And also, Edge promised that a new member of the grand jury would be revealed tonight. Big show coming up. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Show kicks off. We start the show, and it's a cold open. The second the then now forever thing fades away, Rhea's already at ringside with a chair in her hand, ordering for a microphone. And then she sits on the ring and she sits down. She's like, "We're live, right? We're live. Okay. So I don't want to waste any more of your time, just like I had my time wasted all those months, you know. Those of you that didn't see Unforgiven, the nightmare is back. And I'm coming to take what's mine, but I never should have lost in the first place. You've got pretenders back there, pretending to be the Raw Women's Champion, when she knows that it's my title. You've got people who stole that championship from me. They took me out to take that title from me because they knew there was no other way to do it. And you've got other people who were trying to use my absence to make a name for themselves. None of those women deserve to be the Raw Women's Champion because it's my championship, and I'm done pretending that it's not. I'm done pretending to be... my name is the goddamn Nightmare. I'm done pretending to be nice. I'm done pretending to be this. I'm not evil. I'm not good. I'm just sick of this bullshit. And my championship will come home to me right now. Bianca Belair, get your ass out here and face me woman to woman. Bianca's music hits, and she storms to the ring. And she's like, "Girl, if you don't watch your goddamn mouth around here, let me tell you something, hun, You may think that you were the Raw Women's Champion when you got injured, but I was coming for this title anyway, and me being me, I know, being the roughest, the toughest, the smartest, the quickest, the best, would have beaten you, so you wouldn't be the Raw Women's Champion if you were still here, Rhea. What you going away did was save you the embarrassment of being pinned and losing the championship. But it's fine. If you want to fight, well, I'm down, and I'm in a fighting mood tonight, I'm pissed off of what you did to me. So come on, bring it on." She, pulls her earrings out, ready for a fight. Rhea readies for a fight, takes her jacket off or whatever. Then Nova Nebula's music hits. And she's like, "Why the hostility out here, girls?" First of all, I wanted to say, Bianca, congratulations, the better woman won last night. But I also got strays in this whole thing. Sorry for trying to make a name for myself, trying to become the Raw Women's Champion, Rhea. You're someone I used to respect. I used to, you got caught up in the draft last year, I got caught up in the draft this year. I wanted to emulate the year you had. But turns out you're just being a bit of a bitch. And Rhea's like, "Excuse me, what did you just say to me, you alien bitch?" It's like, "Oh, you heard what I said to you. Got a problem with that?" And then Sonya's music comes out. She says, "Oh my goodness. Rhea, get over it. Look, just because I beat you at Evolution doesn't mean that I wouldn't have beaten you if you didn't get injured, Perhaps that was the strategy because I'm smarter than you that I managed to, take you out and take your championship. And if you don't keep watching your mouth, if you don't keep my name out of your mouth, I'm going to do that shit again right now." And Rhea goes, "Oh, so you all want to fight here? Well, I'll tell you what, I'll take all three of you bitches on right now, just by myself." And Bianca steps up, she's like, "Girl, you couldn't take me on just by myself." And then all four of them start arguing with each other. And then Alexa comes out and she starts shouting, she's like, girls, stop. Look, tonight is a big night. I don't have time to deal with this from the get-go here tonight. You've all got issues with each other. But then I see my GM since the singling. I see big money here. So later on tonight, Rhea Ripley, hi. You want to get another shot at the Raw Women's Championship. And then off mic, she's like, damn right I do, yeah. She's like, Nova, my best friend, you want a shot at the Raw Women's Championship too. And she's like, yeah, please. And Sonya, you want a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. How about, later on tonight, you three face off in a triple threat match. The winner of that match goes to Cardiff to face Bianca Belair at Clash at the Castle for the Raw Women's title. So, can't be the main event because, we main event in the Crypto show with the Crypto match, but a big match set for later on tonight. Rhea, Sonya, and Nova in a triple threat. Winner goes to Clash at the Castle to face Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's title. Because we have only got 3 weeks on the Raw side to build to it. Because it is October week 2, so we've got to be kind of sharpish with moving straight on fluidly to these next matches. So yeah, tonight we find out the number 1 contender for the show. We then get a cut to the bat, or like a cut to ads after that segment, and then when we return from the ads, we see the recap of the segment, and then Bianca's backstage with the Street Profits, and she goes, "Gah, girl, Rhea Ripley, she's kind of tough. Sonya Deville, you've beaten her before. Nova, you beat her. Obviously, you never go at it again. I like that girl. She's got it. She got a lot, but you are the EST, the Raw Women's Champion. I know you're gonna beat every single one of them that steps in your way. Isn't that right, Dawkins?" Dawkins? And he looks at me, he's like, "Tired of this, fam." He goes, "Tired of what?" And he goes, "This, like, the Street Profits. Right now, we ain't having the best of luck. Tez, you must see it too." Tez is like, Dawkins, my issues to me, I'm a man, my wife has her own problems. I'm gonna deal with her problems. And for now, my problems are on the back, but we're gonna get back to this tag team thing, We're going to get back to the top of the tag team ranks, Dawkins. And he goes, "Yeah, I sure hope so, fam. But what about my problems? What about my own problems? When you were away, I was making a name for myself. I was challenging for the Intercontinental Championship, Tez, and none of it's your own fault, of course, but you're back now, and I feel like the side character again. I feel like the third real heel right now, fam." And he walks off all sad, and he's like, "Tez, no, or Dawkins, come back, even." So Angelo getting a bit of, because he is right, he fought Garza for the IC title on pay-per-view when Montez Ford got injured. He was in Money in the Bank when Montez Ford got injured. Now they're back and they've just been losing and not doing much. It's weird, and he's going to go collect his thoughts, I guess. 70 rated match. Why did this do so good? We give Florence a win. She beats Kylie Ray 7-15 by pinfall. 65 for Florence, 67 for Kylie Ray. Banger match that was. And then after the match, William Regal gets in the ring on the mic and goes, "Well, would you look at that? Another member of the Regal Coalition dominating in this ring. What brought us 5 together, 6 together, and the bunch on SmackDown was our quest for dominance and legitimacy in this sport of professional wrestling, and you saw dominance and excellence of the professional wrestling genre last night at Unforgiven when this man, the Ring General Gunther, dispatched that idiot Finn Balor in just 2 minutes, proving that there's nobody on this WWE Raw roster quite on his level. And if you don't believe me, this is your open space. Come out here and fight the General. Then, bro, Riddle comes out and he goes, bro, I was hella impressed last night, dude. I was backstage, just chilling with the dudes, and I see Gunther. He comes out and he's all shredded. He used to not be as lean as he is now. He used to be a little bit more thicker than that, bro. But it's impressed. He's managed to get himself in such great shape. And I see him come out. I see Finn. And Finn, he's got the shredded abs as well, bro. He's like, this absolute Greek specimen, dude. And I'm like, this is going to be such a great fight, bro. Like, I know the size difference is a little bit different between the two, but Finn's got that tough pit bull spirit, bro. And Walter, he's a general, bro. You know, you heard him say that before the match. Then I was watching it, I was like, whoa, dude, he totally destroyed him, bro. And Regal was like, what is your point here? And he says, the point is, I know I don't look like much, bro, but if you think your guy is legit, I'm also as legit as he is, bro. Why don't we put it to the test right now, one-on-one? And Regal says, well, it appears, I can't say I'm surprised looking at you and listening to you, but it does appear we have found somebody dumb enough to step to the ring general. You're on, Riddle. Ring the bell. So, Riddle and Gunther, in a wild brawl, gets a 90. I knew it would be good, but that is better than I was expecting, you know. Just when, you know, it's got time for a banger, let's have a banger. Gunther beats Matt Riddle with a golden bomb in 13:10. 89 for Gunther, 78 for Riddle. And I need to adjust the Regal-Gunther partnership because apparently it's very poor. So I just won't have him out there. I'll just have him speak for him in segments. But yes, Gunther, he doesn't quite dispose of him as quickly as he did Finn, but he does stand tall over Riddle's body. His chest is bright red up from all the chops. And the big Imperium pose as the Regal Coalition stand tall over Matt Riddle. We then cut backstage, and non-fungible Nice got like a clipboard. He's got a pen in his ear. He's got his glasses on. And he's got like a checklist. He's getting a crypto party set up, you know, where all of the smartest investors from around the states can gather to, you know, chat about crypto. You know, maybe put some things on the market. You know, do some of that shit. And Corbin's there. He's looking kind of stressed, and Nice was like, what's up, Corbs? You're looking stressed, buddy. He goes, how could Ludwig sell his ape? And he goes, oh, right, about that. Like, you know, he tricked me into putting my ape on the line because I thought it was going to be double or nothing. But apparently it's just my ape on the line now. Like, what a conniving... And Nice goes, it's kind of smart, you know. And Corbin goes, yes, but I don't get outsmarted, you know. I'm the smart one here because I'm the one who invests. That is how you know I am smart and ahead of the times. Okay, but let alone by that, I wake up tonight, guess what? Prices are down. Stock's down. I've got, like, put my whole life savings on this, Nice. And they're going down. So if I lose this ape, I basically lose everything. And Tony just looks at him all weird. He's like, okay, bro, like, one ape? Like, just get another one. Corbin goes, weren't you listening? I don't. The stock, the market's down, and I can't afford another one right now, Tony. This is all I've got. And then he's like, well, just make sure you don't screw up in the main event then. So Corbin's a bit stressed, you know. Really can't afford to lose that monkey of his. You then get a backstage interview. I guess with Kathy Kelly now, she's back. So she's talking to Charlotte and the rest of the Queen's Court. And she says, you know, Charlotte, polarizing week for you last week, you know. Last Monday on Heat, you and Jordan, you lost the tag team. And she's like, but. Kathy, it's your first night back. Okay. Watch your mouth. Let's not talk about what happened on Heat. Who cares about Heat when there was a pay-per-view last night? And guess what happened? She's like, well, I watched it, I know. She's like, I tell you what happened, Kathy. We wound the clock back 6 whole years. We took it back to 2016. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks eat 2 corners of the ring on pay-per-view on the WWE Network and Peacock. You know? And if you go back and watch any match between me and Sasha from 2016, ever on pay-per-view even, not just that year, do you know who came out on top? Kathy? She goes, you did. I did. I won. She's like, I just said that. don't you talk back to me. Don't you talk back to the Queen, you know, the inevitable future women's champion here. Anyway, so, last night was no exception. Sasha thought she could really, really change history this time round. But I did it again, you know. I put Sasha down again. It must hurt her so, knowing that whatever she does, she cannot get the job done against me. That's when Liv walks in. She's like, big talk, Charlotte, you know. You know, you are impressive, obviously, you're one of the greats. One of the greatest women's stars of all time, but you cheated. And she's like, I did not cheat, I merely bent the rules in my favour. Okay, Liv. And quite frankly, I don't like the way you're speaking to me either. Then Shida walks in, she's got Liv's back, and she's like, how about now? And then she's like, okay, so you've got friends, huh? You've got an adorable little friend here with a kendo stick. Okay, well why don't you two team up and me and Jordan will face you in the ring later, okay? I'll give you the spotlight, honey. And she winks at her and leaves. Veer Mahan has come. He came at Unforgiven and now he's coming to Raw for his debut match. This is just the segment of, you know, Veer's entrance, and we have Byron in the ring interviewing the local competitor William Couture. And he's like, oh, I'm going to kick Veer's ass, you know, I'm going to end him, you know, end his parade before it even starts. Veer wins. He doesn't quite have the momentum, apparently, to not have the match get dinged. But the $1 million arm turns William Couture inside out in 1 minute 39. 37 for Veer, 26 for William Couture. And yeah, I think if we're going to do the build-up for Veer, I think they did it wrong in real life. Because he was just this snarling Indian silent brute with a camel clutch, boring finisher. He's got that $1 million arm, and a big lariat always looks cool. So, and he's going to have Malcolm Bivens gassing him up, and we'll have him show a little bit more emotion in the ring because he's Veer, he's the Karma man, you know. You then cut backstage again. Dawkins is there. He's like mumbling to himself, like, "Look at my problems, fam. I'm not number two. Me and Taz, we're equal. You know, we're gonna be the tag team champions again together, and I'm gonna be the Intercontinental champion again, and maybe you'll be the Intercontinental champion, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be lit, fam. You know, get your head back in the game, dogs. Get your head back in the game." And then we see like a hand tap him on the shoulder, and then we pan off, and it's Joe Gacy, and he's like, "Is everything going well over here?" It's like, "I'm fine, fam, thanks." It's like, you seem awfully stressed, Dawkins. Don't worry, this is a safe space for you to express your problems, you know? We all have problems too. And in the right light, we can help you fix yours. And he's like, "I'll fix your mouth shut, fam, if you don't keep talking to me." And he goes, "Wow, that's quite an aggressive tone you've got there." Well, you see, I'd hate to have this resort to violence. But if that is the path to your enlightenment, then so be it. That safe space out there, I'll see you there later on tonight and we can settle this. You can get your anger out there. And they all walk off and he's like, I'll show you, fam, I ain't got no problems. I'll kick your ass, fam. You then get Cameron Grimes. He's in his, you know, he's got a suit jacket and a tie but no shirt. He's got his glasses on, his hair's slicked back, and he's doing a presentation because of course he also has like crypto history. And he's the presenter and he's obviously pointing at the board with the stocks going up, the stonks picture, and he's saying they're going to the moon. Have you got any questions? Let me hear loud snoring. And Wendy Chu's in the back, she's asleep, and she goes, "Boring." It's like, "How did you? I thought I got rid of you back at SummerSlam, you know? You scammed me a lot of my money because that mattress. Now you're here making fun of my goddamn presentations. You know, get out of here. If you don't care about being here, you don't care about the future. You know, anybody who doesn't want to be in here, get out now. And anybody who doesn't care about crypto." And then half the room empties. Like, "No, wait, no, come back, come finish. Let Cameron Grimes finish his Oh. To the moon. 45. That's, I guess, okay. Because, like, who the fuck is Brenda Kingman? But Yoko Uehara, her re-debut, she also squashes a local competitor in 2 minutes 47 with the, I guess, Yoko cutter. She gets a 67, 17 for Brenda, and a 45 for the match. I guess that is fair. I think that's just her. Like, she's literally a local. She's not even a developmental person. But yes, Yoko Uehara. I don't think we've seen her since Evolution, when she lost to Julia. But she's back, new name, new attitude, picking up a win in her re-debut. We then cut backstage. Kofi and Xavier Woods are storming through the hallway. Like, where's Dolph Ziggler, you know? Have you seen Dolph Ziggler, you know? I've hated that son of a bitch for about a decade now. Me and him, we used to really go at it for that Intercontinental Championship. And he says, you. And he points to John Morrison. He's like, sup? And he's like, you were hanging around with Dolph Ziggler last. Where's he been? He's like, me and Dolph, we tried a team thing a couple of months ago. Didn't really work out. We're now both trying to really find ourselves. So I haven't seen Dolph, no. He goes, you're useless, Sean, you're useless. But you're looking kind of moist. He goes, thanks, I try. And he walks off. And he goes up to knee-jerk knees. He goes, you used to be in one of Dolph Ziggler's henchmen. He goes, that was before I, got knowledge and smarts, You've got a PhD. And Wood's like, I do, yeah. I do. I don't mean to brag, but I do have that. He goes, so, how is your investment going in the market? And he goes, investment? I don't have any investment. I'm invested in finding Dolph Ziggler and whooping his ass. And then Kofi gasses him out. He's like, yeah, let's go find Dolph Ziggler. And they open another door. And Angel Garza is in there. Like, they don't go up to him. They just open the door and see him talking to some woman that we don't recognize. And we can't hear what Garza's saying because he's, like, far away. But we can see that he's flirting with this older woman and gives her a rose. And then they hug and kiss. And they're like, ooh, and slam the door shut. And then Woods is like, that wasn't Dolph Ziggler. And Kev's like, now we gotta find Dolph Ziggler and whoop his goddamn ass. That's what we gotta do. So, and another funny line I was gonna have Woods say, because they're the New Day, they ad-libbed. And it's like, this is the first time in about a decade anyone's actually wanted to see Dolph Ziggler. Or something like that. But yeah, Ziggler screwed Big E in that main event. So, naturally, Kofi and Woods are trying to find him and whoop his ass. Moment of bliss time. Ladies and gentlemen. Alexa, she's in the ring, moment of bliss, and she welcomes our new special guests. The undefeated tag team here in WWE. The Team Prime, Logan Paul, and KSI. Out they come. It's like, KSI, obviously you wrestled in your home country at SummerSlam last year, so you had the experience in that ring, but Logan, at SummerSlam, your first match, how are you feeling? And he goes, Alexa, this is what I was born to do. I didn't realize it until now. I tried many things, I was at YouTube, Megastar, I tried music. Hey, JJ's doing music right now. And he goes, yeah, that's going all right, fam. And he goes, I tried boxing. I'm still pretty good at that. JJ again did that. And now I'm onto wrestling. And I'm really feeling this one. Alexa, I felt alive in that ring at SummerSlam, whooping the Miz and Grayson Waller's ass. It probably helped that it was those two, just two douchebags, Alexa goes, oh, I know, yes. I've known the Miz for a while, Less familiar with Grayson Waller, but I can already tell I hate him, so. Anyway, that brings me to Cardiff, WWE's heading back to the United Kingdom in 3 weeks' time. Are you going to be there? And KSI goes, oh, I'm trying to be there. I don't know if I'm going to be wrestling, on the card or anything. It's up to, obviously, you and Pierce and Triple H to book me. But I'll be watching. I might even be there in the front row. Let the bodies hit the floor, please. Alexa, what did I tell you last night? Nobody cares about these two bums. Hell, that guy, he's pointing at KSI, he goes, that guy, his name starts with a cool letter, but other than that, nobody cares about these people. Get him out of my ring before I make him get out of that ring. And Logan's like, look at this, Logan. That sounds like a threat. And he's like, it does, fam, yeah. Well, don't they know that alongside wrestling and YouTube, we're also boxers, so we can knock them out whenever we want. And Alexa's like, please don't do that. And then they're like, well, tell them to stay away from us, and then we will. And he goes, don't worry, kids. I don't plan on getting in that ring. I don't plan on, ripping your heads off and putting them in my body bag. Just yet. But if you ever show up on my show again, my crusade of genocide will get 2 world-famous inductees. Trust me, it is nothing personal. It's just what we're born to do. Blame the world. They made us this way. And then they all leave, and Logan Paul is like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is that guy? Here's another weird segment. It's some kind of car. I'm thinking either black SUV or like white limo or whatever. But like the windows are all tinted, and it pulls up to like a dark car park at night, and then we see Legado de la Sombra all step out in suits or dresses in the women's case, and Zelina's like, I'll talk to him. And she walks into like a room. Like it's like a restaurant room, but like it's just one seater table, like one table with 2 seats on it. Zelina's one end and the other end's empty. And then we see the point of view of somebody walking through the door and taking the seat next to Zelina. And this person's like, so how's it going? She goes, I'm better now, like my knees are all healed up. So I'm able to step in and do it myself from this point forward, along with Raquel. We can work together to get it done. And he goes, and what about, the new girls? And she goes, they were a mild, hurdle. And now I'm cleared. Me and Raquel can team up against both of them next week, and we can end their chicanery for good, because we can't lose sight of the actual goal here. And he's like, I need to make sure we're on the same page here. What is the goal? And she just turns to him, and she looks at the camera, and she like has a glass of wine or something in her hand, and she's just like, complete domination of Raw, and takes a sip, and then the other guy's like, good, get to work. And then Zelina is dismissed. $67, your perfect bang average match here. Because this would be nothing other than, fine. Joe Gacy beats Angelo Dawkins in 8:27. Dawkins gets a 67, 65 for Joe Gacy. Then, after the match, Gacy grabs the microphone. And he goes, look at what you caused. Look what you caused here, Mustafa Ali. All you had to do was play by the fair rules of life and let me become Intercontinental Champion, because I deserve to be after I pinned you a month ago. But yet here we are, and you're still... You said you were going to rebel for your sins, but yet jealousy rears its ugly head. You are envy in this game of life. And that's one sin that you haven't yet repented for. And I have a feeling that after next week, when me and you go one-on-one for that gold, it's only gonna get so much worse. So yes, I guess, big announcement. Next week's singles match for the IC title, Joe Gacy challenges Mustafa Ali one-on-one. We then get Aiden English. He's parading around with like a crown or whatever because he's the greatest musical artist on Raw. And he goes, la 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 la, it is I, the greatest musical artist here on Monday Night Raw, here in the entire WW. And then he's cut off by loud noises coming from a locker room. And he walks past and it says, J-Flow, plastered on the door. And he's like, ugh. And he walks in, and then the music suddenly stops, and all five just look at him. Like, two of them have got the belts in their hands. And then they're like, get out! And he's like, wow, I just wanted to check what all this ruckus was, you know. I hear your music playing, and quite frankly, we learned last week that mine is simply better. So I was just trying to aid the entire WWE locker room by letting my melodious voice play. And Mackie goes, well, this is the champion's room, so get out. And he goes, champion's room, it's only you five in here. And then Shotzi comes in, she's like, whoa! And she's like, who's this idiot? What's he doing in here? Is he a champion? And he goes, oh, technically I am a champion. I'm the champion of Battle of the Bands, Shotzi. And congratulations on your championship victory too. And now these girls are being very loud and very disrespectful. And one day, that day's not today, but one day, they will learn the price of being disrespectful to the king of Battle of the Bands. And then he leaves. And it's still silent. They just stare at the door for like 2 seconds. And then Shotzi's like, what a weird guy. Anyway, and then the music plays again and they continue partying like champions. So I wanted to make sure Shotzi made an appearance on Raw at some point because she hasn't yet, and that belt can float between any brand. So yeah, champions party room. And these would definitely get along. 82 rated tag team match, I will take that. Charlotte and Jordan, you know, rebound victory over Hikaru Shida and Liv Morgan. Do you ever, anybody else watching when you play this game, ever book like, oh, you go, this will be a fun match, and you book a match and like it's got a tag team in it, and then after you book that tag team you like change all your plans because you realise that tag team's fun and you think they'd be great friends in real life and you want to roll with it further? That's me with Liv and Shida. Like, I imagined it in my head and I'm like, yeah, these two would be they would be great friends, you know. She's with a kendo stick, Liv has that baseball bat now, I guess. And they just feel like they'd vibe well, so, you know, maybe not a full-time tag team, but, like, if one's ever outnumbered, you know, they have a friend. We then cut to Cameron Grimes. He goes, okay, there's only 4 of you left, and we're nearly at the end. I appreciate you for staying this long. You must really care about crypto. Then the camera pans and R-Truth just turns around and is like, what's he even talking about, dog? And he goes, oh no, so, crypto or something. And then he goes, I don't care about any of this, mate. What are we going to tell him? And he's like, can you stop talking during Cameron Grimes' presentation? And he goes, I'll be the guy, Cameron, you know. We didn't care about any of this. We just wanted to come here and thank you for funding Battle of the Bands last week. And he goes, oh, well, I guess you can thank the stocks, you know, because that's how I got my money to be able to afford that Battle of the Bands for you. And he goes, you know, there was some tinkering done that we weren't particularly pleased with, but it was a great time, you know. We made a lot of friends along the way. And it really got us thinking about the future of Titus World Records. So thanks for that, man. And he goes, no problem. I guess you can repay me by by at least letting me feel a little bit grateful and let me finish this presentation about the importance of crypto. Tyrus like, okay, yeah, we'll do that. And Billy's like, what? You gotta be joking me? You still gotta finish this shit? He's like, Billy, shh. Mr. Grimes is talking. Continue. And then he goes, anyway, as I was saying, and he starts pointing at the thingy again as we fade to black. Oh, 100 rated segment. It's a shameful thing. Lobsterhead, the new world heavyweight champion, is here. It's like he's getting booze. He's like, oh no, fella, did you not get the result that you wanted? You know, I had to earn it. I had to owe it to Drew. I really do owe it to Drew McIntyre. You know, it may look like I know nothing for him because I'm the champion by myself here, but if it wasn't for him and his persistence and constant getting knocked down when he was trying to take the fight to the Judgment Day, whoever they are, the grand jury, I wouldn't even have got that close to the world title. It's my friendship with Drew McIntyre and his trust in me as his tag team partner back at SummerSlam that left the doorway wide open. I kicked Big E's head out. Wasn't anything to do with Drew McIntyre, wasn't anything to do with Edge. Because I saw the opportunity for a championship match, and me wanting to be the champion, I took it. You do exactly the same thing in my position. But yet I've been labelled as a scumbag because Drew wanted to shake my hand at the end of Unforgiven. He didn't want to shake my hand out of respect. It's his fault that this friendship went the way it did. Okay? And now, look at this big beautiful belt on my shoulder, you know? I ain't letting it go, Drew. You messed up. You were so determined to make sure that Edge didn't win that World Heavyweight Championship that you missed. You missed your real threat right under your nose. And then Drew McIntyre comes out, his music hits, and he stands on the stage, and he's all pissed off, and he goes, I never thought I'd see the day, Sheamus, where you were the World Heavyweight Champion. I would feel nothing other than pride. You know? But here we are. Because you don't deserve that championship. You pinned Edge off of my Claymore. Not your own move, my move. You stole that from me. And then I still, you know, offered you out respect, and you were the one who turned it down. Because you are a manipulator. You got to the top, and that's where you want to be. Nothing else matters to you. Okay? And while I agree that winner attitude, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not the mindset you need to have to make it to the top of WWE. But you need to learn that that kind of attitude, as well as being at the top of WWE, will make you a lot of enemies. Including enemies that you thought were your friends. And he headbutts Sheamus. And then they two start brawling. They brawl around ringside. Security pulls them apart. And then we do the big spot where they're one's in one corner by a bunch of security, one's in the other. And then Drew would shove his security to the floor and charge at Sheamus again. And then more security comes out and carries him away, or pulls Drew away, and Sheamus picks up his belt and is like huffing to the back. You know, big pull apart brawl, always a fun way to start a feud. Speaking of champions, Path of the Dragon, they retained against the Viking Raiders last night, and nothing for them to do on the show this week, so we're just going to they're returning to the mountain, or wherever it was they honed their skills. And narration over the video in Chinese, I guess, because Xia Li, yeah. Of just like how they battle tested and they're the champions and they're going to take the fight to anybody and stuff like that, you know. Generic samurai warrior stuff. 80 rated match. Could have been better, but whatever. It's fine. Apparently there's a lack of psychology with these three. And the winner and going to Clash at the Castle, Rhea Ripley pins Sonya Deville in 14 minutes and 14 seconds with the Riptide to earn the shot at Bianca. The match that was supposed to happen at SummerSlam is finally happening at Clash at the Castle. 89 for Rhea, 83 for Nova, and a 73 for Sonya Deville. You know, Rhea gets her big entrance, new theme song, new graphics and all that shit before the match. And then after the match she celebrates or just stands on the top rope. Bianca, I imagine, would be sat either at commentary or just sat ringside with a belt. And Rhea gets on the top rope and points at her and bring it on, and Bianca stands up off the chair just with the belt up in the air bitch. And then Sonya Deville, who got pinned, I imagine them two leave, or we go to break or whatever. No, we don't go to break because I know when we're going to break. them two just leave, Rhea and Bianca, and whatever the fuck happened to Nova. Then Sonya's just laid down in the ring after she got pinned. And she slowly starts to pull herself to her feet. Edge's music, or the Judgment Day, third time's the charm. The Grand Jury music hits. And then out they all come. Edge, Priest, the Vikings, Julia, Scarlett. Because it's time for the big Grand Jury promo. Gets a 94. So Edge is on the mic. And we cut to break there. As coming up next, the new member of the Grand Jury. And Edge, he's in the ring and he's like, when I first started this whole Grand Jury thing, the purpose of the crew was to help, relieve the shackles from so many members of the WWE roster who knew that they could do better. Alongside restoring order to Monday Night Raw, we really needed to, prove that all of these people belonged where they belong. And the Viking Raiders, they belong on the upper echelon of the Raw Tag Team division. Myself, I belong at the top. I'm a goddamn Hall of Famer. And that's why Randy walking out, having Randy with us really, helps establish credibility. He's one of the GOATs. So I don't really think that there be a person that I can get in that can replace Randy. Because nobody does what Randy does. But what we can do is we can move in a different direction, change course, and change our vision. Because while Randy may be out, there are plenty of other world-talented wrestlers here on Raw that can stand in and fill the job and bring the Grand Jury to the top. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome one of the best wrestlers on Monday Night Raw, one of the most underrated WWE stars of any era, and the man who's going to help lead forward the new era of the Grand Jury. I'm here to show the world, I'm here to show the world. Bring it on. What I say better, watch what I do. Dolph Ziggler. Comes to the ring, black jacket, I imagine, purple bandana, hair looser, little loosened out. And he gets to the ring and he shakes Edge's hand. And he goes, "Thank you, Edge." A very close personal friend of mine, We go way back. Even to his first run in WWE, me and him go way back. Somebody that I, of course, have a lot of respect for. Is somebody who's a very good friend of mine. So when he reached out to me, and the rest of the Grand Jury reached out to me with this new vision of the grand jury why I had to accept, because, quite frankly, I'm done with being done. I was your favourite wrestler. Everybody wanted to see Dolph Ziggler at the very top of WWE, but yet you abandoned me along the way. But now, I'll abandon you. Because I'm tired of sitting back. I'm not gonna be the what if. I'm not gonna be the what if. You know it's serious because we're getting shouting Dolph Ziggler promo. And he goes, so, Big E, have you no shame? Have you no shame? I was the one who brought you here. But yet nothing but disrespect after disrespect. You got what you wanted to get. You became the very top star here in WWE Raw. Bravo. Bravo. Sure, you were never actually the top guy because Drew McIntyre's been here and Cody Rhodes has been here. But hey, third place isn't a bad place to be. It's a hell of a lot better than Dolph Ziggler ever got. So yeah, you're not the champion anymore. So yeah, it's my fault, It's the grand jury's fault. Because, the whole plan yesterday was going to be the day that the quest to bring the grand jury to the top of Monday Night Raw began. Everything went to perfection, I got in that ring and I screwed you out of that match and screwed you out of your World Heavyweight Championship. Sorry, kid. And then everything went according to plan. But yet, and he turns to Edge and he looks at the Vikings as well. He's like, but yet I don't see any champions in this ring. I'm tired of being little old Dolph Ziggler, You're supposed to be the WWE Hall of Famer here. You're supposed to be the veteran. You're supposed to be the brains of the operation. Yet it was you, Adam, who couldn't get the job done. For once in my goddamn career, I did everything right. Only to have you, one of the greatest of all time, living, breathing legend, screw it up. So you're right, Edge. It's a new era for the grand jury. It's time for the grand jury to change its direction. It's time for the grand jury to dispose of that old way of life and those that preached it. Bang! He super kicks Edge. And the Vikings and no, just the Vikings look kind of shocked because Damian Priest, he also immediately starts mauling on Edge and he starts beating the fuck out of him on the ground. And Ziggler, he's ordering Priest to beat him up. And the Vikings, they look conflicted in the background. Because they're like, what the fuck's going on here? And Ziggler walks up to Ivar and he slaps him in the face. He goes, you big idiot. I also don't see these Raw Tag Team Championships around your waists. You are just as much as part of the problem as he is. And then Edge and Dolph Ziggler, or not Edge and Dolph, Damian Priest and Dolph Ziggler start taking the fight to the Vikings. And but the Vikings fight back. They start trying to fight back. When all of a sudden, two hooded figures jump on the backs of the Viking Raiders, allowing Ziggler to super kick Ivar, send him to his knees. Another super kick takes him down, and then Damian Priest chokeslams Eric. And then the two hooded figures take their hoods down. They are, I guess, what you'll know them as Chris Bay and Ace Austin. But here in WWE, there is Ken Cobain and Emerson Frost. And they grab steel chairs from the outside. And of course, Dolph Ziggler delivers a concerto to Edge. And Damian Priest continues to waylay on the Vikings with Frost and Cobain with the steel chairs. And the girls are in the background, just getting all gassed up. And then Ziggler drops the chair that he concertoed Edge with on the floor. And he goes, and that's the show. And then he pulls Scarlett in and they start snogging in the middle of the ring. So, That felt very sudden. But, you know, in real life, the Judgment Day have gone in a different direction to the one that Edge started. And I think they're, like, the best the group's ever been in real life right now. Just as a bunch of, like, douchebags that wear purple bandanas. And if you're not sold on Dolph Ziggler, you know, purple bandana Ziggler would go hard. Tell me it wouldn't. Yeah. So we've gone for, like, I've also changed that's been changed the whole episode. I've just not mentioned it because, like, it was kind of spoilery. But we've gone for a pivot towards what, like, the real Judgment Day are now, rather than the original premise, which I was still rocking. And the Vikings felt more in line with that than they did the douchebag group. So, you know, they're out. These two are in. Scarlett, Julia, and Sonya are still in. I debated getting rid of Sonya as well, but, like, nah, her and Dolph Ziggler, you know, they're tight. Like, when the save started was right when him and Sonya were friends, because of the whole Mandy and Otis thing. It's like, yeah, they've got history. And then Scarlett's there. She's a hot blonde woman, looking in her tight black leather. That's very much up Dolph Ziggler's alley, so I guess they're a thing now. But I very much look forward to the douchebag era of the Grand Jury, because just like real life, it's gonna be funner. Ziggler changes. Bandana Dolph gets to see. Even TEW knows Bandana Dolph is a great gimmick. But I've had Ziggler around, you know. I've tried a couple of things to try and rehab him, because I do have to make him world champion at some point. That's one of the goals. This felt like the move. Next week, big show. Kind of. We've only got 3 matches announced. We heard it from that weird, like, meeting in the restaurant from Zelina. Her and Raquel, you know. Zelina Vega is back from her shattered knee she suffered like a year ago. Her first match back, she's teaming with Raquel Rodriguez that they take on Morgan Daniels and Hans Katana to end their little petty spat that started in catering a few weeks ago. We have the Intercontinental Championship match, Joe Gacy and Mustafa Ali. And Dolph Ziggler, you know, Bandana Dolph himself, takes on Xavier Woods in singles action. And we also heard, announced for Clash at the Castle, Bianca Belair is going to defend her Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley, the champion who claims she never should have lost the belt. You know, and on SmackDown we announced, I guess I'll just put the graphic up here because I never did it on SmackDown, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. If Seth Rollins loses, he leaves WWE forever. '82 rated main event. Bored Ape on a pole. In 14 minutes and 10 seconds. Corbin's world gets turned upside down when Ludwig Kaiser retrieves the certificate of authenticity. He now owns Corbin's Bored Ape. 76 for Corbin, 77 for Ludwig. And Ludwig, he looks at it and he's like, yes, it's mine. I'm going to sell this for profit. And Corbin's like, no, my monkey. Give me my monkey back. He starts having a fit on the floor in the ring. And he's like, oh my, he's like, starts hyperventilating and holding his head, like sat in the corner. He's like, oh my god, no. My monkey, my monkey, my monkey, my monkey. And then he checks his phone. And he's like, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no. Kind of somber ending. Funny that it's all over a Bored Ape, but yeah. Corbin having a bit of a crisis. 86 rated show. Apparently Tatum and Ivy were used too much. I don't even remember them being on the show. Oh, they were in Moment of Bliss, I see. But yes, this show accomplished a lot of things I wanted it to. Including pulling off the Dolph Ziggler thing. Which, yeah, funny. Rhea Ripley's going to Clash at the Castle. And yeah, Veer and Yoko squash matches. Gunnar and Riddle had a banger. And I guess the show's not over because we do have Heat coming up now. Just a quick Heat today. We start off with another Doudrop win. She beats B-Fab. 7:53 Michinoku Driver. 47 for Doudrop. 34 for B-Fab. Yeah, just a nice match to get. But I don't think B-Fab's actually wrestled that much. And she's not like somebody that I need to protect in the ring. So it's fine. Doudrop can win. That was a nice test. Because Ariana and Kiana have been teaming in real life. So I was like, yeah, let's just test out that team. But DKE, they weren't on this week. There was no DKE shenanigans, but they do wrestle on Heat. They beat Kiana James and Ariana Grace with the whole cow. What is the whole cow? Nobody knows. They don't even know. It changes. Like, they know their finisher name is the whole cow, but they don't know what the whole cow is. They hit different finishing moves every week, and they're like, that's the whole cow. And then they'll hit a cooler one the week after, like, no, actually it's that. That's the bit. That's the funny bit. Why is it called the whole cow? I'm sure I'll reference that in the future. It's fine. JFO performance. I rated them all here. I don't normally do that. I normally just make it Mackie. But they're all champions, and they all pass their belts around, and every time someone's got a verse, they hold the belt up. But after the fun segment with them and Shotzi on Raw, I thought, let's do a 6-woman tag. Shotzi teams with 2 of them. It was Mina and Mizuki teaming against Electra Mol Lopez, Chantel Harman, and Makoto. Shotzi pins Chantel with a Fright Night. 53 for Makoto, 58 for Chantel, 45 for Electra, 73 for Shotzi, 62 for Mizuki, and a 67 for Mina. Then the main event is your weekly Candice LeRae Heat match. She beats Naomi this time. They have a banger. At 13:31, Candice wins with the I guess Lion Salt thing. Not called a Lion Salt because it's not Chris Jericho, but yeah, she wins with the Moonsault Press. 77 for Candice, 69 for Naomi. That ends Heat. Basic show this week. After last week had a big title match on it, last week was the longest episode of Heat I think I've done, and the rambling has made sure this one isn't the shortest. But what matters more than the 70 is, well, the 86 for Raw matters more than that. But what matters more than both of those is what you thought of each show. What you thought of Heat matters more than what the game thought of Raw, but mainly what you thought of Raw, and maybe also if you feel like letting me know what you thought of Heat, do let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for SmackDown. See you then.